Welcome to Nurse Table Talk. I'm Nurse Julie, and today I'm joined by Cindy, who will be sharing her story on how she is living her best life after the loss of her husband, and with the hope that her story will help to inspire others. So let's get started. Hi, Cindy.
Hello, Julie.
Thank you for being here today.
Not a problem.
Well, good. And so I guess we could start off by maybe sharing a little bit of your story as far as the beginning. Let's start at the
Sure,
beginning, and then we'll
sure.
just kind of advance through and see where we land. How does that feel?
That sounds fine.
Okay.
And well, like you said, my name's Cindy, and I lost my husband 2.5 years ago to COVID. And, it was so hard because it was, of course, unexpected. He was only 65 years old,
Right.
and he shouldn't have passed. But, he had some underlying conditions, and so it didn't go well once he caught the disease. And it was devastating because, of course, it was unexpected, and he was just too young, and he was my everything, right? I mean, I've dated this man since I was 14 years old, so he was a part of my life and a big part of my life, and so it was like being torn in half when it happened.
And I'm very sorry to hear about his
Yes, I
passing as
know,
well.
I know. Everybody was really struck by it because he was such a big part in the community and in our lives, my family with my daughters and my grandchildren. And so it was devastating, not only for me, for them as well. And it took a long time to get through it.
And you sharing your story today, we hope will inspire others, sharing those very hard steps that you have faced.
Oh, for sure. For sure. As a matter of fact, I just had a friend lose her husband just yesterday. So
Wow.
she said the same thing. She said, "Oh God, Cindy, and now I know what you are going through, or what you went through at the very beginning stages." And yeah, so I'm sure I'll be reaching out to her and helping her on this journey too. But yeah, it's a devastating loss. But I'm here to tell you, people, we can get through it. We're strong women, and you can, and with work and love and your faith, you can get through things. So, yeah.
So what would you say initially was, besides the grief? Okay, and the grief was tragic because it was unexpected.
Right.
Moving forward, like your daily routines, and how did you cope with that? Where did you start?
It was hard for me because I was we were renting at that point because we were trying to decide whether we move full time to Florida or whether we have a house in Indiana too, where my other daughter is. And so we were renting after we sold our big house. We had a big house that we sold, and we were trying to decide whether we build in Indiana or whether we just move to our house in Florida. And so being upheaval there too, because all of our stuff was in boxes, and it was just like a freaking nightmare. But it also kept my mind busy because I had to decide what I was doing, and I knew I wanted to be by my daughter too in Indiana, so I built a house there. And so that kept me busy and going forward. And then plus doing all this stuff of getting his will done and financial things done, and talking to lawyers and accountants and all of that. It was just a whirlwind. So
I don't mean to get too personal, and the world is listening in, but
no, that's
is
fine.
there something, even with the financial picture, that you would do differently?
Oh, most definitely. I would have been more involved. My husband was one that took care of all of the tax stuff, and I paid bills, but that's about all of the further I went. Right. So when I had to deal with all the stuff he was involved in, because he was an entrepreneur and he was involved in so much, it was terrible. I mean, you walk into a lawyer's office, an accountant office, and you go, okay, I'm that person. I'm that person that doesn't have a clue of what's going on. And I didn't want to be that person, but there I was. And so I would tell people, just get your stuff in order. I mean, my husband was great. He put stuff in trust
Right.
already. So that was a major thing. So I would tell people, please get your stuff in a trust fund so that you don't have to worry about that part of it. And then know what you have and where it is.
And where
Yes.
you're headed with it, whether you're going to
Right.
Florida or you're staying in around your family or
Right. And I
whatever.
still come down to Florida because I hate cold weather now. I mean, being from Michigan, as you know, Julie, it's not fun in the
I
winter.
know. And
I'm way over that.
I know. And we're in Tennessee. We had 10.5 inches this year. And I said,
Oh
well, at least
gosh,
I know it's going to kind of go away.
very
But
quickly. Yeah.
right. You made it through you had professional people guiding you, I'm sure,
Right.
to
Yeah.
help find those tax papers that you need.
Exactly.
And
That's another thing. Make sure you trust the people you hire. They were
right,
friends of ours personally, so I know I can count on them to help me, and that's a biggie. So,
right,
yeah,
right.
sure.
So you made it through that. And
Mhm.
then what would you say the next, like, did you have any other large obstacles, like things that you think you would want to share with other people?
Yeah, if you feel like you need to to somebody, talk to somebody. Don't be embarrassed about it. I didn't go the counselor route until I went to a resort. I went to a health and wellness resort after about a year, after I was done with just not being able to even look at his picture without breaking down. When I got past that, I said, I need to think of myself now. I need to get on the wellness track after seeing my grandkids feeling sorry for me. I didn't want that. I didn't
Right,
want them looking at me and saying, oh, poor Mimi. I
right,
wanted them to know that I'm strong and I can get
right,
through this. And so that's when I went to the health and wellness resort. And I did talk to a counselor there, and she was very beneficial for me. And
right.
the whole thing was a very much needed time for myself, for
Right.
sure.
Well, you coming on my channel today and sharing your story and sharing your recommendations for people to move forward in their own life, because as you know, grieving process is different for
Oh,
everybody,
most
right?
definitely, most
And
definitely. Some people feel angry and blame God or whatever, and I never did that because I knew that here on earth it's our free will, right? I mean, we
right, right,
we get to make our choices of what we're doing with
right.
our.
I heard
Yeah.
there were like three terms: choose, communicate, and connect. And
Mhm.
those three terms, really, for anything in our life, the choices we make, the connections
Right.
we make, and communication is key too. I mean, those are,
Almost definitely.
yeah.
Mhm.
So once you move forward and you went to the resort and found
Mhm.
that that was really helpful,
Right.
then what else did you do that was special and unique?
Well, my friends wrapped their arms around me and kept me busy constantly. I have tremendous friends, and I have
Right,
a tremendous daughters and
right,
son-in-laws and
right,
grandkids. So they all pushed me forward and, let me grieve, and then, got me going again.
right.
So,
And then
yeah.
the other thing that you did that was really special is how I learned about your story was
Yep.
on a makeover YouTube
Video. Yep.
podcast.
Yep. Before Howard even passed away, I had been watching Christopher Hopkins videos for years, and I always said, I'm going on that. And he would laugh and say, go right ahead. So
And
finally, after he passed, I did make the attempt and got on. I was thrilled. It was fun.
and and what Cindy's referencing to our viewers out there is the YouTuber called it. The name of the YouTube is the Makeover Guy. Is that correct?
That
Yeah.
is correct. He's the makeover guy. And yeah, I spent
And
3 days there, and it was amazing.
yeah, and he does, wellness and helping people inspire people and just moving forward in whatever their journey might be.
Yes.
And
Yep.
he has like a 500,000 subscribers.
Oh, he does. He's big time. He's big time, and he's
Yeah,
super talented, super
yeah.
talented. Yeah.
So that's where I reached out to Cindy and we connected, and she agreed to be a guest on our channel today. And I'm just thrilled about that. So then as far as things that you're experiencing now, you know, you've made your move, I guess. Are you going half and half, like
Yes,
Michigan?
I am. Yeah, I'm in Florida right now, and I'll be here till June, and then I'll probably go to Indiana for a little bit
Yeah, yeah.
and do that, and then come
And
back here.
and are you doing any activities in Florida, like any
Oh my
group?
gosh, yes, yes, oh yes. I golf and we play bocce ball, and I have a brunch for everyone once a month, and they all
Oh, well,
come
good.
together, and we just have a ball. So
Yeah.
yes, and they just keep me busy. Yeah,
So you're meeting new people, new friends,
I
maybe
am. I am.
maybe having new interests, maybe something you haven't done before.
Yeah, yeah. Just it's hard for me to go out and meet new people, but with this golfing with different groups, and the club has so much here, like they have bingo and fashion shows and stuff, and so I'm meeting
Oh,
a lot of different people.
wow.
um, yeah, yeah,
Well, and
so it's
that too is that connection, the connections,
exactly,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
Well,
very.
is there any other things that you would want to share that you can think of that maybe will help inspire somebody, like having hope?
Oh, most definitely. Because, I when it happened, I thought my life was over, right? You do. You
Yeah,
think, oh my God, I've lived with this man for 44 years and now I have nothing. And those empty times at night when we're our best and favorite times are you're alone. You think that it's never going to get better. But I'm here to tell you it does. It does. I get the degree of loss lessens a little bit. The heart, your hole in the heart will always be there, right?
right,
He's always going to be a part of my life. But now
right,
I know that things are better. That
right,
there's other people out there in the same boat, and everybody understands it, but
right,
it
right,
will get better. It will.
right, right.
Time heals all wounds, is what they say.
Well, and your heart will always be with that person no matter
Almost
what.
definitely. Oh
But
gosh.
moving forward and having hope and living your best life. And there could be times where a person steps back before they go 2 steps, 3 steps forward again, but that's
Almost
okay.
definitely. Oh yes. There's still times when I'm in the car and a song comes up or something, and I'm just like, okay, blah. But then you
Yeah,
get through it and say,
yeah,
okay, it's
yeah.
you know,
Well,
so
I want to thank you for sharing your story today and to tell everybody, don't give up.
exactly.
Cindy's here to say that she's done it, other people have done it, but it does take your choice of moving forward and be
Exactly.
compassionate with yourself.
Exactly. You got to
Uh,
take time for you and
right.
get through it the way you can get through it.
All right.
Yep. All
Well,
right.
thanks for coming today, Cindy. And thank you for our viewers for watching, and we'll see you next time.